What's up, Angel City? It's your girl Panda here, and welcome to episode 70 of Angel City Chicks. And I am joined today, of course, by my favorite and most lovely co host, Nina Kiefer. What's going on, Nina?
G'day, mates. Welcome to episode 70. That's right. It is what we're doing now. You heard it right here. It is what we're doing.
That is what we're doing. We said we were going to start doing our podcast live at 7 o'clock every Tuesday. And well, we are here to show you that we are women of our words. No, there have not been any games to recap, not even on the women's national team front, but there's a lot of fun news and a lot of things to kind of get you guys all ready to go for this World Cup that is happening in count them, 2 days away. It is July 18th, and it is all about to go down. And I'll tell you, doing my research into today's pod just got me more and more excited for what is coming up here shortly.
Absolutely. But before we get into all that, don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash that like button on YouTube. Give us a follow on the social medias. You know, we are here for you. We are trying to bring you the Angel City weeklies, if you will. So make sure you tune in with us every Tuesday, 7 p.m. on the YouTubes. We will be here to give you whatever there is to give.
Right? Whatever is happening out there in the world of women's soccer, we will package it up into a nice little bundle and deliver it to your ears and eyes. It's going to be great. I can't wait. It's going to be kind of fun, a little different than kind of what we're used to doing, but it's going to be a lot of fun because along the way, we're also going to learn so much as well about so many amazing players that are in this World Cup. And again, we have a lot of things to talk about. So
yeah, let's
I
get
don't
into
know.
it.
Do you want to just get into it? Do you just want to dive in? I mean, I don't know if this is going to be fast or slow. I really cannot tell based on the amount of content that I have.
Yeah, we will find out shortly. But before we do that, there is some exciting news that's happening also in the world of broadcasting and women's sports. Attacking Third podcast now have a segment on the Golasso Network. And this is a podcast, and this is going to be a segment that only talks about women's soccer. It's going to be NWSL. It's going to be World Cup. It's going to be all the things you need. And you can catch that on the Golasso Network. Very excited to see women's soccer getting even more of a platform and a woman broadcast team being the ones to give it to us. So super exciting news on that front. And then, yeah, let's just dive into this. We're going to go through, I'm not the best with transitions, and this one is heavy. So I really don't know how to go from something that good to something heavy, but we've talked a little bit in the past about, mental health awareness and the importance of it. And, something that's really important within soccer, and, we'll get into this a lot, I think, throughout this episode, is the way sports kind of train you for kind of your entire life. And there is a very big mental capacity to this game, and it's really important to prioritize mental health. And actually, we have a nice little World Cup tribute, Panda, if you want to talk about this a little bit.
Yeah, so Naomi Girma, she's a defender on the San Diego Wave and currently on the U.S. women's national team. She did get called up, and she was really, really, really good friends with Katie Meyer. And for those of you who may not be hugely aware, or maybe you've heard the name and you just don't know, Katie, she played at Stanford University. She played soccer, and mental health, as we talked about, is so important. And unfortunately, according to her parents, she had an acute stress reaction that ultimately ended her life. She died by suicide, and I know this really rocked the women's soccer world, and I think just sports in general, because mental health is something that we always talk about. I mean, they have documentaries out there about during the Olympics how just mentally taxing that is, and that, when you have an injury like a broken leg or an injured arm, or even like a cut or something, those are all physical injuries that you can see, you can assess, you can go to a doctor and look at it under x-ray or whatever it is and go, oh yeah, that's not right, I can tell how it should be, and that doesn't look right. When it comes to mental health, that's not something you can do. You can look at someone and they can be totally fine. They can look like they are just living their best life. They are giving you all the clues out there that, that nothing is wrong. And then all of a sudden something happens. And, I think this was kind of the message here. I think Naomi Girma, she wanted to write something. She wanted to dedicate this World Cup to her. So she wrote this really, really touching tribute where it just talks about her. It talks about the memories that she has with her, and just really highlights what a good person Katie was and how, we never know what people are going through. Like, this was someone who was her friend, who was really caring, who was someone that she would turn to and talk to when she needed something. And to her, she was the last person that you would think would take their own life. So she wrote this, and I encourage everybody to take, 10 minutes out of their day to go to the Players Tribune or go to Naomi Girma's Twitter or social media or wherever. It's really easy just to type it in, even, and it'll just come right up. And take a read, or take a look at this and read it. And I don't know, just think about how she's feeling going into this World Cup and how important this is for her to get these feelings out there. Very touching, very moving piece. So, anyways, I just want to highlight that because I think everybody should definitely take a read on this. So,
Yeah,
anyways,
absolutely. And mental health doesn't just have a month, it has the entire year. And if you are suffering with mental health, know you're not alone. Please reach out to someone, get the support you need, because it's scary to not
mhm,
know what your brain is doing or why you're feeling the way you're feeling. And if you're going through it, just I encourage you to seek help and to do what you can to get to a place where you feel better. I know it's really difficult. I struggled a lot with it throughout my early 20s, and I'm still struggling with it. I'm definitely like too much information maybe, but I take an antidepressant every day. It's one of those things that we don't talk about enough, and there's a lot of stigma associated with it. So if you need help, you're not alone.
yeah, I think we're all out there fighting our own battles, no matter how big or small they are. We're all going through things that I think we could all use, some help, a friend, someone to talk to, someone to cry with, someone to laugh with. So if you don't have that, reach out to us. Reach out to any of us. We're here for you. And we would love to just meet up and, talk about maybe this game together or what's going on in life, or just do something to make you feel good about yourself. So nobody should have to suffer alone. And I think for Naomi Girma, I think this was a chance for her to maybe use that as an outlet for maybe something she was
Mhm.
struggling with. I'm sure, it's been just over a year. I think it was March of 2022 when this happened. So I think for her, going into this World Cup and just reminiscing and it being just over a year now, I think it was a good thing for her to do and kind of her coping mechanism for going through this and allowing us to all kind of see how she is feeling and what she's
Yeah.
going through. And hopefully, this is just going to fuel her little fire going into this Women's World Cup.
Yeah, for anyone who has lost a friend to suicide, it's one of those things, that maybe they're not with us physically, but their presence is never forgotten. And I think it's a great way to honor somebody. We all do our little things to honor the people that have passed. And it's a powerful message. And I really hope that people can see this and they can feel inspired and they can, as the article says, do this for Katie. So
Absolutely.
love it, love it, love it. Something else that we love is a little bit of advocacy. And this one is a fun one brought to us by Valkyries and reposted by Angel City. We see here the ACFC fan picket.
Yeah, this is actually happening tomorrow, so hopefully you guys hear this and can make it out there from 11 to 2. Warner Brothers here in Burbank, actually, gonna bring some game day energy out there to the picket lines to support SAG-AFTRA and our riders and everything that they are going through right now. Wear your ACFC gear, your supporter group gear, whatever you can to kind of come out there in solidarity to kind of help support our brothers and sisters in the industry right now. So I'm definitely going to try to make it down there. It's right down the street from where I live, so no excuse not to make it. It is going to be hot, so I encourage anybody to bring water, stay hydrated. If you need something, let us know. But if you can only come out for an hour, that's great. Doesn't matter. Anything that you can do to come out and support is definitely going to be accepted well. So.
Yeah, I love that we're getting behind this. Angel City has a big owner group based out of like actresses and people in the entertainment industry. So I love that they're also kind of putting their muscle behind this and taking a stand. It's really important that we do what we can to advocate for others. And, we support the writers, we support the actors that are going through this. So kudos to Valkyrie for putting this together and setting this up. Stay hydrated tomorrow, everyone who's out there. Unfortunately, I will be down in Torrance at work, but I look forward to hearing all about it afterwards. And, before we go too much further, we're going to do like good news, bad news, good news, bad news.
Yeah, yes, we're definitely alternating the congrats. Oh, let's do this.
Oh,
Oh,
all right.
so
So
I don't
now it's
know.
time for your downer.
Yes, we're
And
doing uppers and downers today, but yeah, let's.
today's downer is Kristen Press.
Oh yeah, hold on.
Oh,
Oh man, come on.
yeah.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Kristen Press has posted to her social medias talking about her injury. And I am about to grill Panda on this. For those of you who haven't been with us long, Panda is in the medical field. She is a surgical nurse. She specializes in amputations. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Just going to make
Okay.
stuff up for you. But no,
Okay.
you do a lot of outpatient, total hips, knees, joints, arm bandage, stuffy stabs. That's how I describe her work,
Thank you.
obviously.
Thank you. Yes.
But because of this, I feel like you're a good person to talk to because Kristen Press puts out a very emotional and heartfelt statement talking about how she's actually had 4 surgeries done on her knee.
She's had
And
3. She
3.
needs the 4th.
She needs a 4th. That's what it is. She needs
Yes.
a 4th surgery for her injury. And she's starting to feel like maybe soccer doesn't necessarily define her. She doesn't necessarily need to come back, but she misses it. And it's a big piece of her and she doesn't feel understood. And it's a tumultuous read.
Yeah.
And
It's very interesting. Yes.
makes us feel all types of ways because we want her back. She's the face of the franchise, all these things. But it really kind of puts into perspective what she's been going through. Now, Panda, talk us through this because as soon as I heard she needs a 4th surgery, I'm like, who botched it?
Yeah, and I see the comments out there, obviously trying to go, to the surgeon and like what happened. And I just want to say this. Surgery is risky. There are risks involved no matter what. Not everything is clear cut and dry. There's so many factors that go into surgery and what your outcomes can be. Some people can go in, have ACL surgery, get back in 6 months and never see a doctor again, barring no other injury. And then some people just feels like they're dealt every bad hand that could have been dealt when it comes to this. Now, this could be a myriad of things. When we hear 4th surgery, we don't know what type of surgery. We don't know what type of surgeries she's had. We know she had ACL reconstruction. Yes. What were those other 2 surgeries? Were they arthroscopic surgeries to clean up what?
Orthoscopic?
Arthroscopic, where you stick a scope into the joint. Instead of cutting it open, you go in with well, that's better than cutting it open. You're just looking at a little camera.
The first surgery, you have to like slice and dice. You have to cut everything open.
You can also do that one arthroscopically assisted. So the scars are usually just long enough for them to be able to screw or anchor down the tendon or ligament that they are actually going to that are repairing. So what I'm saying is, I don't know what these other 2 surgeries are. I don't know what this 4th surgery is. It doesn't look like she's had her ACL like redone 3 times. Like they've gone in and had to do that. If she had done that, that's worst case scenario because every time you go in and you have to re-anchor a ligament or repair an ACL, you risk more and more bone loss because, when you put a screw into something and then take it out, the next time you put a screw in, you have to put a bigger one because it needs to be anchored to something. So the more and more times you're going in and actually fixing the surgery itself, that's obviously not a good thing. And then,
I should
I
have gone off camera for this conversation.
We did. We talked about this beforehand. You knew everything I was going to say. So
I know, and it's still like gross.
But anyways, what I'm saying is a lot of times with these surgeries too, they do go in and do things where they go in and just clean up the joint space. Maybe there are adhesions, maybe there are maybe like foreign bodies that have, broke off that they need to clean up. When I say surgery, it could mean a whole lot of different things. It doesn't necessarily mean they go in and they have to fix the original surgery. It could be adjacent to the first surgery. So when we say like, whose fault is this or why isn't this?
Yeah.
It could be a lot of things. It could have been something during her rehabilitation. Sometimes people during therapy, and I'm not blaming her at all, but sometimes people don't do things in therapy that they should, or they're scared to. And then they get adhesions and things like that develop. So then that causes another problem. So there are a whole lot of things that could be going on. I don't think you can place this on one person. You can't say, oh, the surgeon screwed this up and that's why she's here. I don't know any of that. And I don't think any of us should place blame on any of that. We don't know the situation. Sometimes athletes are so hell bent on getting back to doing what they were doing because their identity is sealed in that little box of I'm a
Yeah.
soccer player, that sometimes they do push it too. And they put themselves out there too fast. And that can cause problems too. So I don't want to spend too much time on this, but what I do want to say is there are a lot of things here we don't know. Surgery means a lot of different things. And there are, she could have somehow gotten an infection that could have happened outside of the surgical environment. That could have been an issue. It could have been so many things. So all we can do is wish her the best and hope that this is something that she can overcome and that there is a future for her still when it comes to women's soccer.
Okay, so do you think she plays again?
I can't answer that because I don't know what's going on with it. If she were to say,
I think that's a pre-retirement post.
But I don't know. Like I said, when they say, I don't
know
think
if
she
it's
had
a
to have her.
medical thing, but I feel like that was a retirement post.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to speculate because I don't know. Because like I said, I don't feel like I've seen her immobilized in the last 6 or so months. And if she had to have her ACL repaired, she would have been
She would have been
immobilized
back on crutches and
because she would have to wait for that to heal.
True.
If it was a surgery where they went in and they cleaned up, or she had meniscus damage, or maybe there was cartilage or something, then that recovery looks a little different. And we've seen her out on the pitch. We've seen her doing things. So I don't know. I don't want to speculate because if somebody could tell me exactly what happened, surgery 1 was this, surgery 2 was this, 3, 4, if you could tell me what those were, I could tell you exactly what I think based on how, how much impact that has on her joint itself, but I don't know. So
yeah. Well, let us know in the comments what you think about Christen Press. Will we see her again, or is this a retirement speech? Are we? What are your emotions? Help me.
There's so many emotions out there reading the comments, but so many people are behind her. So her story's not over. I'm curious to see though where it goes from here. But
so we did
speaking of sad and happy news,
happy sad.
Let's move on to some happier news.
Hey,
what are you doing, Nina?
Isn't the next one Nike?
No, we're talking about Nadia Nadim.
Oh, that one's happy too. Shoot, we're gonna go backwards. We're gonna do 2 happies in a row.
Well, that was all just that was all under. Hold on. That was all under ACFC NWSL news. The next stuff we start World Cup watch. Okay, that's a totally different segment.
I told you if you didn't put it in bold, I was gonna miss stuff.
If I put the whole thing in bold, you're gonna miss it all. Guys, right. Nina's not okay. She's a shell of herself right now. You wanted to talk about the return of Nadia Nadim, and that was going to segue into what I was going to say about Nike.
Okay, so go ahead.
And do what?
Talk and segue.
Can you tell us about Nadia Nadim?
Nadia Nadim is back. Okay, so for those of you who don't remember and haven't been with us long, Nadia Nadim is a very, 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 very accomplished soccer player. She came to the US, overcame, I don't even know what I'm saying, overcame a bunch of adversity to get here. She became a professional soccer player, and when that wasn't enough, she also got her doctorate. So she's a doctor, practicing medicine, went through med school, and was in the NWSL simultaneously. Unfortunately, went out with, as we've talked about just recently, an ACL injury, but she came back just the other day.
Well, this is the second return that she's had. If you guys remember when Christen Press, the aforementioned that we were talking about, when she actually tore her ACL, we were playing against Louisville, and that was the debut of Nadia Nadim actually coming back after her first injury. And unfortunately, she did leave again with another injury. Was it another ACL, or was it?
I believe so.
I think it was. So yeah. So I mean, she came back, and obviously she did not have the setbacks that Christen Press has had, and for one reason or another. But either way, thankfully, she is coming back and playing again. And one thing that I wanted to talk about, kind of on the heels of this news with, recovering from and coming back from or falling victim to ACL injuries, is the prevalence of ACL injuries to women in this game. And I mean, a lot of research has been done about this on just the way our bodies move, the way our bodies are shaped. I mean, everything about men and women when it comes to like how we are, we're different. And I love that Nike has finally decided that they need to really address this from like a ground level. And well, they came out just recently with something called the Phantom Luna, and the brand is calling it its most researched women's led football boot design in history. It took 2 years to craft this women's led design on the pitch, trying to update the traction, the fit, the feel of the key brand silhouette. And I know they really did a lot of things that they think are going to really help, hopefully,
Mhm.
minimize the injuries that we're seeing to women when it comes to ACL injuries, knee injuries, things like that, because it has a lot to do with, like the ankle stability, the traction, the way that they stop and start and change
Hips.
directions. Yeah. And it says with women have such a high range between arches, like the flatter feet in women's game, the Phantom Luna has laces that are designed for midfoot adjustability because we have different types of arches in our feet. So they need to be supported differently. We have a smaller foot on average. So they made a boot that actually requires larger touch zones for control than a typical male led design. And then the coating of it has a tacky feeling that is able to make the upper meshing kind of more pliable, and it can also repel moisture so that their feet don't get wet and have any of that. I mean, there's so many amazing things with it, and I think hopefully this is something that hopefully is going to like set off what some other shoe companies are going to start doing, and that's looking at women's feet and women's anatomy and saying, oh, okay, they're not just smaller and maybe narrower, they actually require a different kind of functionality. They need to allow, for rotational traction, but also the ability to like plant and pivot and be able to push off in one motion and not risk, putting so much pressure on those joints. So,
Okay,
anyways,
now how much do you think they're gonna go for? Because I already just Googled the price. How much would you pay for this boot?
well, I mean, if it's going to keep me on the pitch forever and not have to have injury, I mean, I guess that's, priceless. But I mean, I would say probably a couple $100.
Yeah, you're right. They're selling for 275.
I mean,
Um,
that's not much different than some of the regular, just like Adidas ones that I've seen out there. So,
yeah, I mean, your
yeah.
average cleat, like a good cleat is gonna cost you at least 100.
Yeah.
You can obviously get cleats cheaper, but an average decent cleat is gonna be about $100. So these are definitely more on the expensive side, but you know,
I
it is
mean,
what it
when
is. Like you said, I know you're a runner, so you go through shoes, you buy shoes on a regular basis. But
absolutely. I mean, that's so important. And, these shoes are not going to be probably for everyone. I mean, I've learned that in running. Like, somebody always asks me, hey, I'm new into running. Like, what shoes should I wear? And I'm like, you should go and get fit tested. Go try on shoes. What feels good on your feet? Take a run around the block in them. They'll let you fit test them there. Like, everybody's feet are different. Everybody hits the ground different. Everyone's gait is different. So I encourage anybody to go and get tested. And this is probably the same, and that's why I'm hoping different companies jump on board with really having like a women led, women focused design team come in
mhm.
and design shoes in this same fashion. So, big old congratulations
Hey.
to Nike for stepping up and listening to women in that sense. We still have a long way to go in other senses. We know this when it comes to inclusivity and tizing and stuff, but at least they're doing this. And another thing I want to talk about with Nike is their hype commercials for the Women's World Cup have been incredible. And I was not going to download and upload all of those videos for you to see. You guys have Google, you guys have YouTube, and obviously if you're seeing us right now, I know you do. But go out there and Google Nike Women's World Cup and just go through and watch the commercials. I mean, they've got some fantastic ones. The one I saw recently was where a dad and a daughter were watching the 99 World Cup and Brandy Chastain, she goes and she kicks it, and like the dad, he's like so excited, and he ends up falling and knocking himself out, and he's like in a coma until right now. And like Brandy Chastain like opens the door, and he's like, "What's going on?" They're like, "We're in the middle of like a really great time," and like it's just like the women are incredible, and it's a fun commercial to watch, and you see the
Interesting.
daughter. Yeah, it's really fun. You should check it out. Have you not seen it?
No, I haven't seen that one. I saw a Lay's commercial that I enjoyed, but it was very interesting. It had Brandy Chastain as well as in addition to like Mia Hamm, Alex Morgan, Naomi Girma. Korniak was in it. A lot
Yeah.
of different players. That one was fun, but I
Well,
haven't seen the Nike
they have a
one.
couple ones. They have one with Megan Rapinoe. They have one with Dabinia, the one where she's in the in the convenience store and she's like juggling the
That one's my favorite right now.
yeah. No, they're really fun. So check those out. They're really cool. And we have a slide up, and I was just going to read this real quick what they said. They said at Nike, we have always firmly believed that the voice of the athlete has the power to change the world. For the last 50 years, we've worked with athletes who share our values and vision to move the world forward through the power of sport. As we look to the future, many of our female athletes have a fresh perspective and ambition to create even bigger change. Together with them, we are partnering to deliver new product innovations and services, support communities, and expand sport for the next generation. So, definitely listening to the women, which they definitely should because, well, right now, women's soccer, well, they're seeing an unprecedented momentum around the world. So, in the US, for
Mhm.
example, the NWSL reached record attendance numbers halfway through this season already, up 48% over last year. And FIFA president Gianni Infantino, he said that the 2023 tournament, which kicks off in 2 days, is co-hosting countries Australia and New Zealand. It's on track to become the most attended Women's World Cup in history with more than 1 million tickets sold as of June.
It's
Wow.
freaking incredible. We are on the rise. We are here to stay. And I love seeing the sport get so much attention. There's nothing we want more than that. And within that, also, the attention doesn't stop there. The attention is continued on. And Netflix is paying attention because they're going to be coming out with a documentary about the US women's national team. And they're actually currently following them around and filming. And, you put in our notes, do you wish you were surprised by this, or do you like knowing that it's happening right now? And you know me, I like knowing it's happening.
So they brought up an interesting thing on the Golasso Network when they were talking about this, and they said, it would have been fun at the end of all this. Like they were like, "Oh, by the way, we captured all of this, and you guys get to rewatch it, like kind of like as a fun, like little like dessert to like the main course." And somebody was like, "Do you think that these other teams, it's going to just fuel the fire even more for them to beat them, knowing that they're being showcased?" Like, is the spotlight gonna be now so much
Ooh.
more on them? Are they gonna be trying to be the ones to dethrone them, knowing that now they are on a Netflix documentary also?
Meh.
So yeah, I mean, no, they're good
Good
points.
luck.
I personally would have loved to have known about this after the fact. I think I would have liked to have been like, "Oh, that was amazing, we won, we're champions," and then they'll be like, "Oh, by the way, we captured all this fun footage." Now it's like, I don't know. I don't know. Now it's like, okay, I can't wait for it to come out. I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, definitely. But what a fun surprise that would have been after the fact to just be able to rewatch it even when you didn't know it. Now we're just gonna be waiting for it. Now we're gonna be like, when's it coming out? When do I get to see it? So I don't
Yeah.
know. That's my thoughts. But
I mean, we'll see, but either way, we know we're going to dominate this World Cup. It's looking good for us. And let's kind of get into that a little bit more. We've got some Angel City watch parties happening. And I'm going to throw them up right here.
nope,
I
nope,
know.
nope, nope.
Oh, you don't want me to do it this way?
What how are you
Oh,
doing it?
well, because the slides are, I'll do it this way. Hold on. Let me clicky clicks.
What are
Clicky clicky
you going
click.
in order of the slides or the notes?
The notes.
But
Okay.
that's what it says. Let's talk about the group real quick and how it's set up.
And first, there's a link to an article.
No, there's not. Read your notes, Nina.
I can't read the notes.
Nina can't read the notes tonight, guys. So, anyways, go back to that first one. So, if you guys know Casual FC Pod, they did a really in-depth deep dive into all the groups and everything. So this is kind of what it looks like. If you guys are curious, this is all the groups, Group A through H. We are obviously in Group E, and we'll highlight that very briefly just for a moment because there's no reason for us to jump into it when we have our very good partners in Pod right around the way that have done the research for all of us, which is really exciting. So thank you to Casual FC Pod for that. But yes, these are the current groups that are going to be facing off. And as you know, the top two in each of these groups are going to advance after they've played each other. And then on August 4th, that is when the knockout rounds start. So let's move on to real quick what Group E looks like. So, Nina, you want to talk about this for a minute?
Yeah. So in Group E, we've got the United States, Vietnam, Portugal, and the Netherlands. And you obviously know us. We are going for the three-peat. We are currently FIFA ranked #1. And, we're really hoping to take it home again, as we've pointed out many, many times. We also have Vietnam in there. They're currently ranked 32nd. They actually are in their World Cup debut. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Anytime somebody is debuting is a very exciting time. And we also have another debut coming with Portugal, who are currently ranked 21st. So very excited for that. The hardest team for us is probably going to be the Netherlands, and they're currently ranked 9. And their last World Cup, they were the runners up. So with 2 advancing, we will see what happens. But Vietnam and Portugal, you can never underestimate the underdogs, and you can never underestimate somebody who is making their debut. They could make a run.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that we have 2 brand newbies and then 2 like top of the top veterans here. So yeah, I mean, when you've not seen them play in the World Cup before, you don't know what to expect as much. So it's going to be very interesting. And well, let's just kind of ease into how we can all enjoy this. So I'm going to talk a little bit real quick about some of the watch parties. So now, Nina, if you would like to put up that beautiful slide that you had, that would be amazing. So now, I put this slide up here, and it looks a little different than the other ones because I had to highlight what Angel City said under there. Do you see that tweet right under the watch party schedule that they posted?
Well, they're not the only ones that do things like wrong or incorrectly.
Right. So they made these cute little flyers for all the watch parties, and we'll go over them real quick. But they had to kind of add like a little addendum because the Homebound Brew House is not at 9800 North Alameda. It is at 800 North Alameda Street. So make sure you don't make that wrong decision. But if you're like me, I never Google addresses anyways. I Google places. I just put in Homebound Brew House and would have just went there. I wouldn't have like been,
I always do it by the address because I want to make sure I go to the right one.
Oh, I don't, because people, who knows? What if you would have gone to the wrong place if they didn't
I would have.
addendum,
and I would have been sitting there like, this doesn't look like a bar.
All right. So what this slide says is, I didn't get to read it, Nina. July 19th. This is when the party starts at 11 p.m. So, I mean, technically, kickoff's at midnight. So July 20th is where it's going to happen. We talked about this in our previous podcast, but that will be kicked off. We got them at all the 33 taps. Remember, 66 taps around the LA.
Yeah.
And then what's July? Can you read any of that, Nina? I'm just curious.
No, which is why I was trying to make it nice and big. But
well, no, that's different. That's why.
I have bad eyesight. My goodness. Right. I can do it from the website. So on July 20th, it's going to be the Nigeria versus Canada game, followed by Philippines versus Switzerland. They're going to start those at 6:30 with kickoff at 7:30 and 10 p.m. at Common Space Brewery, as well as Tarantula Hill Brewery. For those of you who don't know, Tarantula Hill is a huge advocate and sponsor for our supporters group. So go out to Thousand Oaks, give them some love. And then Friday, July 21st, USA versus Vietnam. Party starts at 4 p.m. with kickoff at 6 p.m. Going to 3 locations: Homebound Brew House, don't go to the wrong place, Common Space Brewery in El Segundo, and of course, Tarantula Hill Brewing Company out in Thousand Oaks.
Sweet. So that's kind of what your first few days look like. So hopefully, we'll hit up some of those watch parties, and we will see you all there. And then moving on from there, we've got on July 23rd, we've got another party kick. Oh, hold on, let me move this.
That one's going to be Italy versus Argentina with party starts at 10 p.m. kickoff at 11 at Lopez and Lefties in Anaheim.
Oh, is that to me now?
Do you want me to keep going or?
Sure, you're doing such a good job. I don't have the thing pulled up. You do.
And then Monday, July 24th, Colombia versus Korea Republic, followed by New Zealand versus Philippines. They're going to start at 6 p.m. with doors, 7 p.m. and 10:30 kickoffs at Tarantula Hill, as well as Love Hour in K-Town. Love Hour is a 21 plus bar, so make sure you leave your little ones at home or head on over to Tarantula Hill. And then Wednesday, July 26th, another USA versus the Netherlands. This is going to be a big one. Big. Make sure you are there to support everyone. Starts at 4 p.m. with kickoff at 6 p.m. So either leave work a little early or, get a speeding ticket.
Yeah. That's a Wednesday, so in case anybody's wondering, that is midweek. So you're over halfway by that point, so you might as well come out and enjoy it because, like you said, that's going to be a big one. Definitely our most difficult game, I think, in our group.
And this one's going to be cool because it's going to be at the Music Center in downtown LA in collaboration with the Music Center. So huge, exciting moment for us there to check out some games. And, that's not the end of it. There is even more coming.
Oh my gosh, this day. Hold on. I have to talk about this day. This day is called the Ultra because there are 20 plus hours of football in one day. And what we mean is on the 29th, starting at 12:30 in the morning, we've got games and they're going to go all the way until we have an Angel City FC home match that night at 7 o'clock. Yeah. So if you're going to watch all these, there's no details yet on these games, and the U.S. does not play on this day. It's the other groups, but we will have details on where they're going to be if they have them. Maybe they'll have some of them. No, they won't.
Over.
I mean, you're definitely going to sleep in between because the game's at 5:30. It's going to be over at 7:30, and then I think you sleep. So we stay up till 7:30, and then we sleep, and then we make our way to BMO for the tailgate, and then we'll get ready for that game. So that's kind of what that looks like. I know, 20 plus hours, Ultra. It's a big day of football for us guys. I mean, it's kind of fun though. That's what I love about this. I mean, I love do the same thing for the men's World Cup as well. I love just waking up at stupid times of the day. I mean, I've gotten up early a couple times this week to watch the end of the Tour de France right now. I'm low-key obsessed with that, and I can't find anyone else who is to talk about. So if anyone's listening to this and they are watching and following the Tour de France, please let me know because I need to talk to somebody about it because it's so exciting right now. But anyway, that is what's happening as far as the group soccer.
Yes. Lots of great soccer coming up. Very excited for this competition and to see where this takes us. The knockout rounds, the big kahunas are going to start on August 4th. And as you mentioned, the top two in each team, oh my goodness, there's even more games and slides, but July 30th and 31st, it's so much soccer.
Well, we have to finish out the group stage. So July 31st is the last game that we play in our group stage against Portugal. So that's going to be really important because that's going to be our last group stage match. Hopefully it will become a non-issue and maybe, it'll be okay. But that one's going to be fun. That one's a party. That one's kicking off at midnight. We're going to have two locations, one in Glendale, one in Long Beach.
Long Beach.
So, yeah, Glendale. So I don't know where we'll be for that one, but
Long Beach.
But yes, that one's pretty exciting. Did you make your way through that now? I
think I did. I got a little overwhelmed several times during it because oh my gosh, there's so much to watch.
There's a lot of games.
I should have put in for a leave of absence, really, is what I should have done because
I mean, it's really not feasible to have an actual job right now. So
Yeah.
But
Plus, I'm pretty sure my laundry is done and somebody is going to get mad at me. So if anyone lives in the building with me and you're listening, I apologize, but I had to podcast, so I couldn't finish my laundry.
all right. So one thing I want to highlight before we move on to like some fun little awards that have been and some accolades that have happened, I did want to just kind of let everybody know if you're not making out to a watch party or you just it's just too overwhelming to even think about. Just to kind of let you know how you can watch these games and the time frames and everything. So there's about a 15 to 19-hour time difference between LA and the host cities across Australia and New Zealand, depending on where they're playing. Now, the first two US games kick off at 6 p.m. We told you those are easy games. Those are going to be fun. The other ones, not so much. But all the games are going to be broadcast on Fox Network and on the Fox app. And there are plenty of broadcast details out there if you need to Google them. But all 64 matches will air live and exclusively in Spanish, with 33 on Telemundo, the largest ever FIFA Women's World Cup matches on a broadcast network in U.S. television history, 31 on Universo, and every match streaming live on Peacock starting July 20th through August 20th. So you have plenty of opportunities, whether in person or if you just want to stay in the comforts of your own home, roll over in bed at midnight and flip it on. It's right there and you can watch it, and there is nothing wrong with that. So that is what you can do. We told you about all the watch parties, of course. So, yeah, I mean,
Yep.
we've talked about the key players that we want to keep an eye on. Of course, Ertz, Thompson, Endo, and Riley are our big four that are going to be representing. And yeah, you want to make sure you catch those games whenever you can.
Absolutely. But let's talk a little bit about the top four U.S. women's national team players. As we get excited for this, there are four players that we're going to be watching very closely to see who walks away with the most goals.
Yeah. So in
Or
in the
not
end of
necessarily U.S. women's
well,
national team. Sorry, I should say NWSL players.
well, yeah. So the top four active World Cup scorers. This is anybody in the world that have actually scored. They're all in the NWSL. They don't play in Leon. They don't play at Arsenal. They don't play in Madrid. They play here in the NWSL. So with Marta has 17 goals, Christine Sinclair 10, Alex Morgan 9, and Megan Rapinoe 9. So NWSL is coming out swinging, representing hard. Couldn't be prouder of these women and what they're doing and this league and how it is growing.
Do we think Megan Rapinoe is going to try and get like 9 goals to go ahead and be like the all-time or the top scorer?
She should go out with a bang. Absolutely. She should definitely go out with a bang. And I have no doubt that she will be trying to do that. Put it all out there, leave it all out on the pitch. I think it's going to be exciting. So I'm excited. This is going to be a great one. Cause you think Alex Morgan, did she say she's retiring at the end of this yet or not?
No, God, no.
Oh, you don't think so?
No, she's got so much time left.
Why does she have time left?
She just does. I don't know. She's young, isn't she? But she was like 26.
34.
Holy cow. She's older than me.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering. Like, I know she'll be 38 whenever the next World Cup. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I definitely thought that she was younger than me.
No.
So you're saying I still have a chance?
She could definitely go one more, absolutely. But after that, I don't know. But either way, moving on to another great accolade that women in soccer have earned. If you got to catch all the fun social media posts and pictures, you got to see our ladies dressed up to the nines, looking fantastic. Everybody always shows up and shows out, and they were able to receive an award. Nina, tell everybody what award that was.
Oh my goodness. Very excited. U.S. women's national team receiving the Arthur Ashe Courage Award at the 2023 ESPYs. And this is a really exciting honor. We know that the U.S. women's national team has been fighting for not just equal pay, but fighting against a lot of abuse scandals. And to be recognized in this way amongst their peers on such a grand scale is absolutely incredible and well-deserved.
Yeah, they showed a video during the ESPYs about this and just highlighting the struggles and the strength and the courage that all of these women had to endure to even bring this up, to even make this something that they needed to fight for. It was one of those things where some of them were like, I can't believe I'm bringing a lawsuit against my employer.
Mhm.
That's what they looked at it like, but they knew that the steps that they made that day were going to set the stage in the future for the younger generation. And I think they really want to do that. So that's where courage really comes in, like saying, this could cost me my career. This could not go well. I don't know, but it's worth taking that shot and trying to make and pave a better path for the youth that are currently in the situation so they don't have to deal with this whenever they are on the big stage.
Absolutely. You love to see it, and you love to also see somebody recognized for their bravery and for their courage. So, shout out to them. Kudos. Hopefully, they talk about that in the Netflix
I
documentary.
don't want to hear about it. I like surprises.
But as we wind down this episode, we can't forget that this is an Angel City podcast, and we do have some upcoming games. We are playing against Portland Thorns, as we mentioned, on Ultra Saturday, July 29th, where you are going to get 20 plus hours of women's soccer. We will see you all there. Obviously, some tailgating in the Fugazi Cup. And as we mentioned before, we got a shot. We got a solid shot at this. So let's give it to the porn. The
what?
Thorns. I'm quitting.
Nina's not allowed to podcast anymore after today. You're fired.
Let's give it to the Portland Thorns.
Oh my god! You just referred to Portland Thorns as the porn? Oh my god, you're canceled.
It's a spoonerism, right? That's what they call it when you mix letters up like that. I don't know. And then after that,
Yeah.
August 5th, we're away at San Diego Wave. I will not be there, unfortunately. That is my Saturday assigned to work, probably for the best because I don't think I can show my face in public for about 3 weeks.
Not after that mess up. Jeez. You sure it wasn't a Freudian slip?
Yeah. And then on August 19th, my mom's birthday, we're going to be taking on Racing Louisville. We mentioned this before, but as we look at the Thorns and our head-to-head record, we do have 1 win, 2 draws, and Thorns have 2 wins. But, we have been on the up and up. We are full tweet ahead, so we will see what happens and if they can handle us, especially considering I believe the Thorns have one of the most amount of players that are currently missing for the World Cup. So, we've got depth and we've got, a lot of players that can interchange. So even though we're also missing 4 players, I think we got this.
I think we have solid replacements for our players that we have missing. So I think that really does bode well in our favor. And yeah, I'm excited to see what that will look like. What else do I have? I did so many slides. I don't even remember what else. I don't think we need to read anything else. So.
We've talked about a lot of things and I've messed up a lot of stuff, but if you've made it this far, you're in for a treat.
Well, you had a treat. You're welcome. and I'm sorry. Oh,
thank
Nina.
you. But you know how we like to sign off. We do have a quote for you here. So let's do that. And I will not mess this one up, I promise. This is what Naomi Girma is saying from the U.S. women's national team. She says, "We know firsthand how many people, especially student athletes, are struggling in silence. And we want to use our platform in this huge moment for something bigger than soccer."
I love that. I thought it was a great quote. And I thought, I think we should end it with something. This is definitely more of a U.S. women's national team podcast at the end of the day. So why not highlight something that really does speak to that? But anyways, I feel like we already did all the fluff in the middle of the episode. But either way, you know how we like to end these. Bye.
And here's our fluff.
You are fired.
I'm so fired. I need to apologize to the millions.
And twos. There are no millions at this point. Come on, they've signed off and moved on. Listen, I'm not playing your game today because you are in no shape whatsoever to be quizzed
Thank God.
at all. So I will give you a reprieve from that, but read the notes.
The bullet points throw me off. I don't know how you got bullet points in there.
What do you mean the bullet points throw you off?
It came through with like all these bullet points and they throw me off.
Well, yeah, because they're each sectioned off.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh. That's why you read the notes and then you tell me if you need me to fix something.
Well, I didn't think I would mess it up that badly.
You just bulldozed right through some stuff.
I told you it was a long day.
Jesus. I know. I'm going to have to put it in grandma font from now on.
Really, I need it a lot bigger.
You know the phone that they used to give like old people called like the Cricket, where the numbers were like this big so that old people could use it? Well,
Yes,
that's what I'm
please.
going to do for all your stuff.
Yes,
It's going to
please.
have like 4 letters on a page because it's
Yeah,
going to be so big.
that'd be great.
I'm just going to start highlighting everything that you're supposed to say.
I could still get that wrong, though. You never know.
At this point, nothing will surprise me. So, anyways, hopefully everyone was at least entertained and somehow informed in the middle of all that craziness.
Yeah,
but
Mario's got the right idea. I need size 48.
the jitterbug, that's what it was. I think it was Cricket Mobile, was it? I knew it was a bug. See, he got it. He
I
knew
thought
what I
you
was
were talking about like some like I've fallen and I can't get up thing.
No, it's called the jitterbug. It's a phone for old people.
Hmm.
You want me to look it up for you?
Yeah, I could probably use one of those.
I probably should.
You know, until JR, I didn't even have an iPhone. I didn't have data on my phone. I didn't like take pictures and stuff.
What is the easiest cell phone for an elderly person to use? Jitterbug Flip 2 cell phone for seniors. That's what you're getting, everybody? yeah, exactly. No, you were thinking about the life alert.
You might need that.
I don't fall and can't get up.
But you fall and break things.
No,
Pinky, wrist, arm, leg.
I did not fall. He hit me.
You fell and broke your pinky, and you fell and broke your knee.
My pinky is not documented anywhere, so that's a lie.
I tried to tell Kylie.
Good.
Yeah. So I'm friends with the nurse that, or the PA, right?
PA.
That did Amanda's wrist job. And so when I went to pick her up, I told Kylie, I told her, I was like, hey, did she tell you about her pinky?
It's fine now. It bends. We're good.
It
looks fine.
Huh? Show us. Show us.
No, it looks fine. It looks just fine. Like it looks the exact same as this one.
And bend it.
No, it is. Like it's straight. See?
Bend them.
I don't know which one's which, but yeah. See? This one. It's not broken. It's fine.
Okay. You can do this.
Yeah. See?
Okay.
See? Yeah.
It
no,
was
it's fine.
broken.
I healed it just fine. But
it was
anyways,
broken.
Let's jump off here. Again, hopefully everybody enjoyed that in some capacity or at least found it informative.
Join us next Tuesday. Same place, same time. More mistakes.
I can't wait to give Nina notes that she can read next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goodbye, Nina.
Bye.